This is a little bit of water. It's warm water. I threw in some twigs and things. It's got a little bit of lemongrass oil to attract them. But the bees are getting out for cleansing flights today. It's nice to see those bees are still alive in that little nuke. I'm going to give them a little drink of water. The water is nice. It helps them clean out their guts. And this is the kind of day too that where the bees just sort of will land on you like this, because they're just looking for something warm to land on. I have a bee on my face right now too. So it's always reassuring to see these signs of life from the bees. And I got a bee landing on my head right now. Yeah, but they're getting out for their cleansing flights. I don't see too much poop, which is actually not too bad. Here's a bee down here. It's probably gonna fly away in a second. It doesn't look like a tired bee. There it goes. Yep. So anyway, they're just getting out, and here's one. And they're all landing in the trees. They might be sucking up some water on the trees. Other things that they like and need. It's funny, this tree is full of bees right now. So I got that out right now. Yeah, they're everywhere. And I'll come back in 20 minutes or so and see if they notice it. They probably won't, but it'd be cool if they did. Oh, this one didn't make it. Oop, gone. Oh yeah. Yeah. This is just the way it goes. The temptation is to not flick the bee away, but to bring it back to the hive. But sometimes the bees, they know what they're doing. Sometimes they leave because they're old and sick, and they've got some kind of pathogens inside their guts that they don't want to spread around throughout the rest of the hive. So they leave. And they don't know they should leave. It's just millions of years of evolutionary instincts in play. But they're doing their thing. Man, these bees are flying everywhere. This is my polyhive. And the only problem with this is that I've got so much snow, and I've got this piece of board blocking the bottom entrance, so the bottom entrance doesn't get full of snow. It's working. I can hear them buzzing. Again. But I don't know if they can get out. So I might have to take a shovel and just get rid of this board just so I can see if they can get out. This is also a 4 medium hive, and I think I should have, well, I should have knocked it down to 3 mediums going into the winter. It's better to give a small cluster a small hive and a big cluster a big hive, and this is sort of like a good sized cluster, but the hive is just a little bit too big for them. And I'm concerned right now they'll want to get out for cleansing flights like all the other bees today, and they won't get out because they got to go all the way down here and out. And is that too far to go? I still wonder about that. And this is another hive next to my house. And anyway, they have a top entrance right here, but it's not exactly at the top. The top is right here. Well, it's actually right up here because of the rim I got on them. But yeah, I pull that plug just to give them quick access to fresh air and easy access to the outdoors for cleansing flights on a day like today. And I pop it open, and they definitely go out for cleansing flights when they can. I had this open about 3 or 4 hours ago, and about an hour ago there were just bees everywhere. So they came out and did their thing, And there are probably a few of the bees out collecting water, that kind of thing. But yeah, I wonder if a entrance like this, an auger hole, a drilled hole, I think that's 3/4 of an inch wide. It is 3/4 of an inch wide, and it's tilting up that way, so rain can't get in. And so the heat is still inside the hive, and it's right up here. And if there is some leakage, well, most of it's still being, I would hope, it's still being held up here. And there they come. So I wonder if that's a thing. You know, you can use that sort of in conjunction with the condensing hive setup, so that when, oh man, here they come. They must have saw me farting around. This is excellent though, to see life. You know, you wonder about the bees, how they're doing all winter, and then boom, you see these signs of life. It's always reassuring. But it's only, what is it? We're not even halfway through February right now, and this is still winter time in Newfoundland. So they're not going to be out. They won't have anything to forage on until April at the earliest. So we'll see. And even in April, there's not a lot going on. It's like, well, really not much of anything. So today, I think they're okay, but I'm just going to take a quick look, see if they're clustering underneath that inner cover, which is just a solid piece of insulation. Oh, look, I've got some water over here. See if they're going for it. Yeah, so I'm going to just see how that's worked out. I put that on, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, because they unexpectedly rose to the top of the hive. When I just didn't anticipate that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this is a 4 deep hive. It's a 4 medium hive too, so this really should be 3. I think all my other hives are 3. So this one and the poly hive are 4. And look, this is where the northern flicker was pecking at it. So it's not just poly hives that the northern flicker likes, but I think the northern flicker can hear the sound of the bees behind the wood, like they would insects under bark in a tree. And then they peck at the easiest, the spots where they hear it the most, and it was right here. It was probably just like the crack between the supers. So you can see these bees getting out, just got out and had poop, and now it's just sitting there cleaning itself. Looking good though, looking nice healthy bees. I got a bee in my hair again. So yeah, I'm going to just take a real quick look to see what these bees are doing, how they're doing inside, since I gave them that rim and some fondant. But yeah, I'm glad to see this. So I don't know, I'll keep this open probably for the rest of the day. I might just put a bit of tape on that just to plug up that hole. This is a real mess of a hive. But look at that, man. Nice. See, now this is my concern too. Like they're getting out right here, and they're obviously clustering up top. And for them to get out for cleansing flights, they'd have to go all the way down here and out those little entrances down there. This seems like a lot easier for them. So maybe this is something that can be done, like I said, in conjunction with the condensing hive, at least in snowy areas where the bottom entrance gets clogged. I read about this in the ABC and XYZ of Bee Culture, the 1942 edition, under auger holes. And I think it's this, so somebody in Montana or something started this, where they drill a hole, not at the top of the super, but like near the bottom of the top super, and it would provide, in the wintertime, there was still heat staying up top, but the bees could get out more conveniently through the auger hole. And that's what these bees definitely seem to be doing today. Look at them, they're flying everywhere. Now before I dig into that hive, I'm going to check out another hive beside my house in the woods. So this is the other hive next to my house in the woods, close to the woods. And let's just pop this open. And see how many dead bees we got. Not too bad. So, judging from what I see here, there's more bees on this side than on that side. And on this side, there's little bits of debris, little crumbs. That's from the bees digging into their honey stores. And that's little flakes of wax, basically. And so I would guess that if I opened up this hive, I would see that they're clustered right here on this side of the hive, which doesn't surprise me because you can see here the sun, they get most of their sun from this side, and the cluster tends to gravitate towards the sunny side of the hive. And this is another hive that, with a funky paint job. I'm just trying to, I think I am going to switch to funky paint jobs go on here, from here on in, at least for this location, because the unnatural colors apparently deter woodpeckers, which is northern flickers in my area, from pecking on the hives. I have, not an example, but I have hives in this area too, like here in the woods, in wooden hives that have holes in them too, from getting pecked at. Look at the crack. It looks like it should. Water might leak right down the bottom of that. I got this super from another beekeeper. I don't think they must have bought these ones, because I don't think anybody makes these little handholds. Just for fun, I'll put this back. I'm using this cork to hold it in place. Just go like that. Whoops, I go like this, and then boop, in it goes. And now it's in. That's what's holding that in. So, let's just see what we see when we open up this hole. Oh yeah, there they are. I can see them, the camera probably can't because it's too dark in there, but there they are, they're definitely in there. Neat. Here they come. Hold on. Here comes one. Look at that. Wow, look at that. Yeah. Wow. Oh yeah, see they smell the fresh air. Look how fuzzy they are. I don't know if you can see how fuzzy they are. I don't know if this, I'm not even looking at the camera, so I don't know if I'm focusing or not. Getting out. I don't think that little bit of like opening this just for a few hours today is going to harm them. Yeah, there's no wind blowing at all today. It's just completely there's no wind at all. It's completely still today, so I don't think they're going to get I don't think they're going to get look at oh, nice young bees. Don't know if you can see it, but I can see their hairs all over their legs. They're very, nice looking bees. Really healthy looking bees. And I don't smell poop out of that hive, which is nice. Yeah, I'll leave that open today. And so they're probably, this is a 3 medium hive, and they're probably still clustered like right here. And if we go up here, oh yeah, no, there's a few bees up here. Oh, look at that. They can't see it. I can see it again. I need like night vision or something on these hives, or on this camera. Huh. I'll leave that open too. Why not? And there they come. See, now if there was a, see now what heat is in the hive is going to escape out of that hole. So if the, look at the come, so if there was a hole right here instead of up there, it would still, a lot of the heat would still stay inside the hive and the bees would be able to still get out for their cleansing flights. They're not agitated. See, they're not trying to sting the big stinky human who's. Oh, this bee looks. This bee's a little bit old. Wow. Yeah, you can see she's shiny. But look at that, man. They're so smart. Like they've got these instincts that are so well tuned to their environment because they're constantly reacting to their environment, right? So this bee is out, got some fresh air, the sun is shining, and it knows that other bees are flying, and so to make sure they find their way home, it was scenting. It stopped scenting right now, so yeah, I'm gonna tape up that top entrance. They can get down. I'll let them get down through this entrance. I don't think I want them losing too much heat. Huh. See that? And then that all happened because I just popped this entrance and that entrance. So, you know, they like getting out. Give them a chance, they'll get out. So there's a bee over here in the snow. Look at his leg is frozen. See that back leg? Well, it must be frozen. Let's see if I can tell. That's a very small bee. I think I have old comb that's so old that the cells have been reduced in size due to just debris building up inside the cells. So I think I need to cycle out some of my old comb. I have no idea if my camera's picking up any of this. Oh, look at the wings go. Oh, stop. Oh, that left leg in the back there is a bit. It's dragging its back leg a bit. Look at the wings. Hold on. Oh, let's see if it's got a little bit of water on my finger. Let's see if it'll drink it. No, gone. That's a very small bee. Yeah, its back leg is injured, or something like that. I can see it's dragging its back leg. I can see the little tiny hooks on the end of the bee's legs. So that's why I can go upside down and it doesn't fall. It's hooked onto everything. Come here, little buddy. All right, I'm going to breathe on it now. It's not reacting to my stinky human breath. I'm just trying to warm it up. So it doesn't look sick or anything. It just looks like a very small bee. Look how tiny it is. Yeah, these bees are pouring out of the hive now. And most of them are coming out of the bottom. Which makes me think that maybe, I'll see if this bee will go back inside. Come on. Come on. There you go. Get in. If I can feel the wings I can feel it batting. I can feel the wings, the vibration of the wings. I got a bee in my hair. All right, now it's just farting around. Yeah, get in there. There you go. Now you're back. Yeah, well, see, they're all hanging out over here. They're landing on the dark surface. And this is warm. I can feel the heat. No, they're all just... I've seen this before in this shed where they come out on a winter day and land on me, but they land on the warm side of the shed just to pick up some heat. Sometimes when it's really bright, and maybe it's not so bad today because they're in the shade here, but they get out here and I think they get blinded by the snow and they get disoriented, and this is why you see them just dead in the snow sometimes, and sometimes they just come out and get cold. Like a rabbit tracks coming down here. This is boring, right? But honestly, oh, look at that! I love that, man. These bees are they have such well-developed instincts. You know, this is millions of years of evolution at play right here. Like, why is this bee just batting its wings like that? Because other bees are flying around, and it doesn't see these bees are flying around, and so this bee is scenting, and it might even be, hold on, it's hard to say, I can't see right now, but if you'll see this here little last segment of the bee's body, it is scenting. It cracks that last segment, which is like opening a door to you know, essential oils of honeybees, whatever you want to call it, and the scent just goes throughout the air, so that when all these bees that are flying around just getting lost in their probably first cleansing flights of the year, which just means they're going out to poop, they totally lose track of what they're doing, and so they smell the scent coming off of that bee, and they know their way back home because of that bee right there. Look, they're everywhere. Anyway, this is boring beekeeping, but this is the classroom for beekeepers. You just sit here and just look at them. What are they doing? And why I got the bee landing on my forehead right now, and now it's on my hand, and that one's active. And it's interesting too that I'm not seeing a lot of like later in the year you'll see them come out and you'll see there's so much poop inside their guts that they're all pooping, and they just poop, just streams of poop going everywhere, and I don't see that here. These little bits of things are these are spruce cone or spruce seeds from spruce trees, so it's not a lot of actual poop on the ground. So and I don't mind that. I think that's great because it means their guts aren't full of junk, full of poop, and they're not getting sick. And they get a couple days like this. Like, all we need is like every couple of weeks they get a day like this, and they get out and they poop, and then they come back in, and their guts are cleaned out. They've taken in some water. You know, this is all we need, and which we don't get. Like, there was a couple. I think it might have been two winters ago, or maybe 3 or 4. I can't remember now. Where it was so cold, consistently cold for so long, and I knew the bees weren't getting out for cleansing flights. And man, there are bees everywhere. This is like a summer day. Yeah, and the bees there was poop everywhere when the bees finally got out to poop, and they got sick. Some of them got sick because they held it in. They held it in too long, and they had no SEMA. But anyway, this is boring. And I know it's boring, but it's also like, this is sort of what I relish in terms of my beekeeping. It's just sitting with the bees and the bee just whizzing past my ear. And that kind of thing, right? It's just like, there's a lot going on, but we just don't slow down to pay attention and see and try to figure it out. And even when you don't know what it is, you know, go ahead, take a guess. And if your guess is wrong, then so what? I have no doubt that most of the cluster is right here. This is where most of the bees are coming out. There's a few coming out right here, but I think I'm just going to tape up that hole again. I don't want too much heat leaving the hive. So I think I will actually just tape that up right now. I feel, here's another bee tumbling in the snow. There you go, little buddy. I feel optimistic about this colony, the colony of bees living in this hive, because they had lots of honey going into winter, and I don't think I had to feed them anything going into winter. But the cluster was absolutely just massive. Just fantastic. Just like, it was just filling 2 boxes in the hive. That's a lot of bees. And I got this bee's, I don't want this bee crawling up my sleeve. So I'm going to blow it away. There you go. Wow. It flew, I blew it and it landed over there, and before it hit the ground, it was flying. Smart bee. Anyway, look at this. You see that bee scenting? Right there on the right. See that? Could be ventilating the hive too. Just letting out some of that CO2 that's been building up inside. But yeah, look, they're, I don't think they mind having this. I hope they don't mind having this hole in the hive. But it's funny, like, you know, they've got that bottom entrance, but I don't think they would have come out like this for these cleansing flights if I hadn't popped that hole. But man, they're everywhere. Look at them. Yeah, I could take some of these bees and chop up the guts and test them for nosema, which is a spore that gets in their guts and makes them sick. But I'm not going to worry about that right now, because I see no signs of that. There's no excessive poop anywhere. Oh, look at that. Just speak of the devil. There we go. I just got pooped on. Right there. Yeah, there's not excessive poop all over the place. I don't smell poop coming out of the hive. And so I'm not worried about it. Poop can also be just dysentery. Dysentery is basically when more poop. Basically, it's when the bees, they can't get out for cleansing flights, and they hold it in too long, and they can't help themselves, and eventually they pop, and they poop inside the hive. And that's basically the beginning of how. Well, that's when things can go bad. If they do a lot of that, anyway. So you give them water, and they clean out their guts, and if they can get out for those cleansing flights, all that poop just goes, flushes out of their system, and they're good. They're good to go. I'm gonna grab my other camera here. It's the slow motion setting, and I'm gonna see if I can get a nice slow-mo shot of those bees around that hole. And man, I gotta say, what a difference by pulling that hole that open. So this is why I want to. I'm tempted to, like, my poly hive is a bit too high. It's 4 mediums high, and I just don't think the bees, they're not going to go out because it's just too far to walk. They don't like the break cluster, because see, these bees are coming out here, and this is where the cluster is, and they're coming up here because it's well, the cluster's right there too, right? So there's not far from the cluster, but to go down where it's colder, they just don't want to go down there and get out that bottom entrance. That's my theory. So I wonder about that. I don't see anybody talking about that in any of the journals, any of the forums. Yeah, I just got pooped on again. But yeah, anyway, that's something I wonder about. They like if I hadn't unplugged that hole right there in the middle of the hive, how many bees, would this many bees have come out for cleansing flights? I doubt it. But look, they're enjoying it, man. And this is good for them. They're getting out, they're cleaning out their guts. They're drinking a little bit of water, probably in the form of melted snow. Here we go. Let's get some slow-mos. There, here we go. It looks good. Here we go. Slow-mo coming up. Well, I'm going to leave that open. Let's try this again. I'm going to do another slow-mo shot here, if I can do it. There we go. I'm just going to leave that hole open, and once the sun starts going down and starts getting cooler, they'll all come back in, or most of them will. A few aren't going to make it, like that one over there, and that one over there. But overall, looks like the smart ones went for the heat source. So I just leave that open, let them get out for cleansing flights, and I feel really good about this colony. I'm not too concerned about it. It doesn't have any wrap of any kind, but it has a big, thick hunk of insulation right up top, and it's tilted forward a bit too, and that's their bottom entrance, and that's it. And then later on I'll plug up that hole, and they'll be good to go. Hopefully they're getting the cleansing flights that they need, and they're bringing in some water to just help. Look at this. Speaking of water, there's water dripping right here. See that? God, everything they do, they're up to something. You gotta feel sorry for the bees a little bit too, because here they are. This isn't exactly their natural environment, and we're forcing them to live in this. But they seem to adapt okay. Let's see, this bee's drinking water. See it right there? Oh, gone. So yeah, anyway, I'll come back in a few hours and plug up that hole and leave them be. Haha. This is the ventilation rim right here, and I've got this one of the holes plugged up with tape, and look at the friggin' woodpeckers pecking at it. It already pecked holes in it. I can't see it, but I'm guessing that they're, you know, sticking their tongues out at each other and tasting each other's spit. Or maybe not. Anyway, I got a bee crawling in my hair. Okay. Alright, well, looking good, guys, girls. Holy moly. Yeah, they're getting it. Not a problem. Yeah, I don't know. Is this a good advertisement for drilling holes in your hives? I don't know, maybe. And they're getting out. Like I just don't think they would get out for this type of cleansing flight, this level of cleansing flights, if they just had that bottom entrance. And even this is a 4 medium hive, but even with my 3 medium hive, they weren't going to the bottom entrance. I mean, that's a lot of bees. And they're everywhere. Nice. This is excellent. I was planning on, I suppose I still could. I was going to take a quick look under the hood of this hive, but I think they're fine. Let's see if I can do that without getting stung in the face. Now, if I'm greeted by a big clump of bees in my face, I'm just going to shut it down and be done with it. So here we go. Oh, there they are. Oh, they're good. They're fine. Totally cool. They're clustering high, but they're eating that fondant, and they look great. Not a problem. Nope. Looks good. Nice and dry. Looks fine. I love it. I'm out. And this is when you can get stung in the face. What I should do, and what I will do next year though, if I put a piece of hard insulation up top like this as the inner cover, I'm going to tape it up with something that they can't chew through, because you can see they've chewed here, and they chewed a little bit right there. At least it looks like it, or maybe that was a... No, yeah, they chewed through a bit of it. So they can definitely chew through it. So I'm going to leave that alone for now. I'm not going to fart around with them when they're flying in my face like that, even though I think they're totally cool. But anyway, looking good, no problem. And I'm going to take some tape. I'm going to tape up that hole and tape up this hole. It's not a very big hole, but still it's a bit of a hole. I'm going to tape that up. And maybe I'll even tape up the whole thing, this whole top, and then flip it so they can't chew through it. Anyway, I don't think they went for this thing. It smells very pretty, but they don't really care. I want to reduce this hive down to 3 mediums. In fact, what I'd like to do right now is, oh geez, I got a bee in my hair, is take the top off, let them get out for some cleansing flights. But if I do that, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be a big load of bees, and I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, so anyway, we have 3 mediums up top here and 1 down below. And look how far they got to go all the way down to get up for a cleansing flight. So I'll get more poop on me. So anyway, I think I'll let them hold it for a little bit longer, but I am very tempted to just pop that top off and let them get a little bit of a breather today. Alright, just ignore the sound of someone chopping wood in the background. And this camera battery is going to die soon, so we'll see. No bees up here. So this is the top of my polyhive. And you can see, well, there's mold, and there's mold, and there's mold growing over here on the edges. I can hear them buzzing down there. But yeah, so this is a 100% condensing hive, which is, it's got no upper ventilation, and top insulation. Well, this has insulation all around, but there's basically no top ventilation, and all the condensation that's in the hive is for the bees to suck up and help them digest their honey and everything else. But I'm also getting mold, right? And they know that happens when the bees aren't on the frames. So what do I do? Do I condense it down, or do I risk not giving them enough honey going into the winter? Because it definitely it goes against, you know, pretty much everything I've been doing, and a lot of people that I know have been doing, which is you give your bees a full box of honey plus room to live. So it's not knocking them down to a smaller space, it's giving them more space, but that extra space is full of honey. Anyway, I think if I had an opening right here, because they're clustered down in this box right now, down that bottom box, if they had an opening down here, I think they would come out for cleansing flights. But yeah, you can see a few of them are coming up. That owl does nothing, but it's a little bit of weight on top of the top cover. I don't know what to think of that thing. Like even if it was a 3 medium hive, and I don't think I would go any smaller than 3 mediums. Even if it was 3 mediums, I don't think they'd be going downstairs to go out for cleansing flights. But I think I will definitely shovel this out. So here's the little hole that the bees chewed through in this insulation, and if you look right in there, right dead center there, there's a little hole there that's exactly the size of a bee. And in a way, that's called bee space. It's just enough room for bees to pass through. This is the worst thing about this, is they come on. Look at how it slows them. They get together like this, and then they get stuck out in the cold and die. One second. Ow, frig ya. Little bugger just stung me in the face. I got a bee on my forehead. I went to, flick him away. I got a little incidental sting in the face. Anyway, so this is poop. So it's been about an hour since I was last here, and they're definitely getting it for the cleansing flights. A few more dead bees in the snow, but not too bad. But yeah, they're still going at it. I was going to plug them up, but they're still coming and going, so I'll let them make the most of it. And there's a bunch of them right up there. They're all clinging together. And they're just sort of hanging out. That's a bit of bee poop, and that's a bee. Oh yeah, there's definitely more poop coming out of them now. That's good. I'm glad they're getting it out of them. Like even if you lose like a dozen or so bees in the snow, overall it's good to get all that crap out of the hive instead of in the hive, because later in the winter, if they can't get out and they end up pooping in the hive, then this is just a spread for that's it. It just triggers everything bad. Not a lot of it. I mean, there's always a little bit of poop here and there, but if they really can't get out and they all start going at it, it's just that's how things like nosema get spread around. So this spray paint that I've got on the hive here, this is sort of like a hunter orange, and it's an acrylic based paint, so it's the same kind of paint that you would use naturally or normally on the. Geez, man, I just got pooped on again. It's the same kind of paint that you would normally paint your hives with, except it's just in a spray can. This is I bought this paint. This is also spray paint too. I just sprayed it on yesterday, I guess, and it says gold on the can, and it looks like, I thought, okay, it's going to be nice silvery metallic color or paint, and that'll scare away the northern flickers, but it doesn't look metallic to me. It looks just sort of like a, beige. Anyway, that's the deal with the paint. Exciting. All right, so this is the piece of hard insulation, and the inside of this insulation is inside the hive, where the bees can chew through it, like they did right there. And so I put some duct tape on this side of it, and I'm going to flip it over. And hopefully they won't be able to chew through the duct tape, but they probably will. I don't think duct tape is really the greatest solution to this problem, but because it's got glue and all kinds of stinky stuff going on, and it's just not, I just don't think it's a great thing to have inside a beehive. But I couldn't find my metal furnace tape, which I thought that the bees can't chew through that. It's made out of metal, foil, and it also would reflect. It's nice to, it would probably reflect the heat back down to the bees because it's reflective. So, but I couldn't find that, so I just said, okay, let's see what I can do with duct tape. So this is what I did. Let's see what happens. Hopefully there aren't too many bees stuck to the bottom of this thing. Nope, none. Look at that. There we go. Lots of bees. Looking pretty good. All right. So you can see here where they chewed through it. Chewed through right there. So hopefully they won't be able to chew through that duct tape. And put some duct tape right there just to be safe. All right. So we're done. So I'll take this, put the top back on, put a big heavy rock on top of it. I wouldn't mind something a little bit heavier, to be honest, just because I want to make sure that insulation there's no crack between that insulation and that rim, but I don't think there is. Yeah, that's pretty good. Yeah, maybe I should have put some on the outside here, but oh well. I think they're done with their cleansing flights, so done. I think we're good. All right, hopefully that'll keep them going for a while. That fondant in there, hopefully they can still get at it if they need it, but I think they still have plenty of honey. So I put that in there for insurance, but I don't think they need it. And that's it. I take this old bottom board and I just stick it right there to block any snow from getting under there. And then I take my newly painted Hunter Orange. This is the color that I need for people who are colorblind. This stands out much more than red. So I think that's what I will do. I've got that Hunter Orange spray paint. I'm going to spray all my hive tools like that. Since I have these hive tools out, might as well go through what we have here. So this is your standard 7.5 inch hive tool. I call it a paint scraper because that's what it is. You scrape paint off the side of old houses and things with it. This is what this, you use this to pry stuff open, and you use this end to scrape stuff, and then you use this little hook, this little hole to take out nails out of wood. So that's what it is. It's not a hive tool, it's a paint scraper. So that's a 7-inch one. This is the 10-inch one. I don't think it matters to me which size I have. And this is some call it a J hook hive tool, and other people call it an Italian hive tool. Everything's got its own name. I'm sure that's called a Wilson's hive tool or something too. You know, everything's got its name. So yeah, but this is what I used to call it an Italian hive tool, but now I just call it J hook because it's got that little hook on the end of it, which is great for prying up frames. And there you go. Those are my 3 hive tools. If I had to pick one, I'd probably pick this one. Although this one, what I like most about this one is just the scraping. If you need to scrape stuff off, it's great for scraping off comb and bits of stuff. Whereas this, you can still scrape with this, but you got to sort of drive it into it, and not as easy. But still, overall, I'd probably pick this one, because it's so easy to lift frames out of the hive with the J hook. I used to use a frame gripper, and I never use that anymore. I thought it was great when I first got it, but I don't think it's essential, especially if you have a J hook. You can also pull up frames with this. You stick this underneath the top bars, but you're cracking the comb a bit. You know, there'll be a little leakage of honey, if there's any honey in the frames. Yeah, so there you go. Pass on what I know about that. I would. Wow, you can really hear them buzzing. I think I need to clear out this bottom entrance. It's not clogged, but there's never any real bright light coming through, and I think the bright light, as well as the temperature, triggers cleansing flights. And today's full of bright light. It's nice and sunny, and the snow is reflecting everywhere, because they're definitely buzzing. And you can see the bees just got out. So I should probably do that now. They're getting out. It also looks like that bottom entrance is a bit clogged. Let's see what I can do about that. Yep, that's what I've been hearing lately then. I hear all this buzz. I'm hearing the buzz because they're probably hanging out down there. So, I'm not entirely convinced that these bees are in a good mood. So I'm going to take this skewer and just poke it into some of those holes and clear out some of those holes in the mouse guard. Okay. That's a lot of bees. Okay, they're getting out. Yeah, it's a bit I feel like taking that mouse guard off. Yeah, there's some bees up here that are moving around a little bit fast. And fast is usually the agitation in my book. So I don't know. Alright, well, okay, they're getting out. Let me just see here. Do this without, no, there's a few guard bees on the go here. Yeah, screw this. Alright, I'll just assume they got it all worked out. Okay, well, I'm going to leave that open for a while, like, instead of having that board on it. Whew. Always something new when you're trying something new. Yeah, they're getting out. But that's funny, I removed that, and now they're flying a lot more than they were. So it's gotten darker and colder, and I've since plugged up that hive hole. You can see there's a little bit of poop going around, a little bit more bees dead in the snow. Nothing too bad. And I also noticed that there's little specks of poop on the top of the hive. I'm going to clean this up as soon as I can. So the next time they go out for cleansing flights, they're not spreading around the pathogens inside their poop back into their hive. I just want to be extra careful with that kind of thing. Here are some bees up there that were huddled together before, and they froze. This happens all the time in the summertime too. The bees come out. No, they look like they're just, frozen in motion, and they're not dead yet. But they'll be dead if they stay out all night, and I won't be able to. The thing is, I can't do anything about it. I can't reach those ones. But I can show you a little trick. So here's a bee. It's just sitting there frozen. I pick them up with a bit of a card. I can use my fingers too, but I'll just use this card. I'll drop them in the hole there. Here's another one. I just go boop. There you go. Oh, no, he's gone. Shoot. And I would, if those ones weren't all the way up there, I could scoop them up, put them in a jar, put them in my house. Yeah, see, look, here's another one. Here's a few more. Here, I'll just pick them up with my hands. We'll see, that one looks dead. I'm guessing this one's a goner. Any more banging around? Oh, there's one down there. They just get caught in the cold. And it's possible too they don't have enough. Oh, look, a whole bunch. And it's possible that they just didn't, they flew out, but they didn't have enough, they weren't oriented to the hive. And they just couldn't find their way back. They didn't know how to find their way back to the hive. Maybe, I don't know. And in any case, they just sort of, well, they didn't. Well, that one's gone. But I've seen that before, where sometimes you move some hives, like say in the back of your car, which I've done too many times, and then the hive gets opened, and some bees sort of fall out of the hive in the back of your car. They won't fly out of the. They'll just keep coming back to that spot because they haven't been homed into their surroundings. They're not oriented to the surroundings. That's what might happen here. So my battery died while I was collecting some of those frozen bees out there, and here they are. So they're frozen. They're frozen, but they're not dead. Some of them, or probably most of them, aren't dead. But that definitely seems to be a thing. Even in the summertime and in the fall, the bees fly out, and they just sort of, they don't fly back to the hive, and they sort of freeze overnight. But then the sun comes out the next day, and they come back to life, and they're fine. And that could happen with these bees, but I doubt it because it's winter. I'm just looking at them. Oh, there you go. And they look okay. They don't look like diseased bees. And they don't stink. So what I'm going to do is see if I'm going to set up a time lapse and see how quickly these bees come back to life when I give them a little bit of just the heat from my house. And I won't be able to put them back in the hive because they probably, I just don't think that's going to work. But we'll see if we can bring them back to life anyway. Alright, so this looks kind of funny, but what we have here is this is the time-lapse camera. It's shut off now, but you can see, I think every one of those bees is alive now. Oh, no, there's one that's dead. And did any of these bees get out? No. But you can see they're trying to, look, I don't know if you can see, but right there. They're trying to get out. They're right underneath the camera. But yeah, they're all alive now. Just like that. Okay, let's just see here. There we go. We got a bottle full of bees, but I got a camera up top. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh. Alright, so there's the camera. How can I get? Oh, yeah, they're gonna get out. How am I gonna get them off the camera? They're gonna end up flying around. That's just the way it is. There we go. Ooh, get down, get down, get down. Oh, forget. Oh Jesus, they're all out. No, great. Oh, well. Let's just see if I can get those guys down. That was fun. Go down. Yeah, I got a few bees buzzing around. Yeah, go down. Okay, that one's in. Let's see if I can get this one. Might be able to just get them to crawl in my hand. Yeah, there we go. There's one. Oh, put you in. Go. How many else? Alright, I got most of them. Let's see if I can just get them to. There we go. There we go. Pick them up. Pick them up. Pick them up. There you go, buddy. Oh, okay, got that one. Jeez. Alright, so let's just put the top on. Problem is, it's going to be difficult to put them back in their hive, but I will do my best tomorrow. In the meantime, I might give them just a drop of honey to keep them alive, and then we'll see what happens. Alright, so this is going to be a bit tricky, but this is a mason jar lid with a bit of honey spread on it. And I'm just going to see so I'm just going to knock them down. Make sure there's no bees sticking to the top of this lid. Get away. Go. Whoop. I just had to knock them off. So now there's a bit of honey on the top of this lid. Let me see if it's safe to. Oh, there's a bee right there. Anyway, so there's a little bit of honey on the top of that lid, so they can go and get that honey and eat it if they need some honey. And I'm just gonna. Oh, fuck. Jesus, I had a bee on my neck. And I'm just gonna leave it slightly ajar so they can breathe too. And that's it right there. So the bees in there, they got honey. I'll deal with them in the morning. Okay, so these are the bees, and they've been in this jar overnight. They had some air though, and they had a little bit of honey to keep them alive. And most of them are still alive. And they're probably going to die. And these bees up there, the ones that were frozen, you can't see them here, but the ones that were frozen on the side of the shed are still there. Anyway, yeah, so bees die all the time. Honeybee colonies should be thought of as a single organism, and every bee is a cell in that organism. So when you lose a single cell, like a skin cell or some other cell on your body that just dies and flakes away, that's pretty much what we have here with bees. They're basically one cell in a larger organism. And they die all the time. They're dying by the hundreds, especially in the summertime. And in the summertime, you just don't notice it because they're out dying in the grass and the trees and things. But in the wintertime, you'll notice it because they show up in the snow much easier. But it's a normal process for the bees to die like this. Even if they go out and freeze to death like these ones did, it's not a big deal. But it is a big deal for some people. And but for beekeepers, I think we generally just sort of you got to roll with the punches, man. The bees are dying all the time, so just the way it goes. So yeah, so they're active, they're alive. I put them in my my bathroom and turned on the heat while I was getting ready this morning, and they just woke them up a little bit more. So let's just put them back in. And now here's the deal. I can dump them in front of the bottom of this hive, but they're probably just going to die anyway. Here we go. It's not easy getting them out. So let's just dump them out, see what happens. Oh, now they're flying everywhere. And I don't want to... are they getting in? No. Yeah, I tried. Come on, flip. There you go, buddy. See if maybe that one will go in. Nope. See, that's the thing. You can try to return them, but they're just... That's it, they just go off and die. And there goes that one. And that one's doing some... Whoa! It's doing really... You can't see it, but that bee was doing some funky orientation flights. Yeah, so that's how that usually plays out. That was a waste of time. So that's it. They all just flew off and died in the snow. That's one of the reasons why I don't bother trying to save bees in the snow, because they're already probably old and weak and probably not contributing much to the colony to begin with. Even if, like, I lost a few bees over here yesterday, let's just say, even if I lost, say, 30 bees, it wasn't even 30 bees, but let's say I lost 30 bees, 30 bees is nothing. There's probably 20,000 bees in there right now, so it's not a catastrophic hit.